Kristen Redmond, and today we're going to go over the planetary energies that are surrounding us and affecting us this week, February 14th through the 20th. And we start with today, Valentine's Day. And when we think of Valentine's Day, we think of love, right? And when we think of love, we think of the planet Venus, okay? Venus is all about love and beauty and money too, also. But it also represents our capacity to love ourselves and to love others, okay? It's all about that fourth heart center, okay? That's what it is. Our fourth chakra is the heart center. And that's where we can exchange that energy of love, giving and receiving, okay? And today where Venus is at is in the sign of Capricorn. And anytime Venus finds itself in an earth sign like Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, anytime it's in those, it's going to kind of tone it down. It's going to tone that romance and sappiness down. So today, for Valentine's Day, we find ourselves in a situation where we are maybe not necessarily in these super sappy, bubble baths and rose petals and things like that. It's not going to be one of those Valentine's Days. Right now, what the universe is emanating in energy to us is the need to strengthen our foundations, right? To get down to the root of our relationships. The gratitude that we feel for those people that are in our lives, whether it is our significant other or our friends, our family, our co-workers even, those people that really build our spirits up, that let us know how much we mean to them every day, those people that make us realize what's so great about us and what we can bring to this world and bring to the table, okay? That's the kind of energy that we're feeling, that connection, that stability, that structure. And though it may be boring for Valentine's Day today, you may get a practical gift because it's that earth sign that Venus is in, which also dominates money too. So your loved one is going to be thinking in more practical terms, like, oh, I could buy her flowers, but instead she needs gas in her car, so let's fill up her gas tank. I'm saying that for experience because it's exactly what my husband did for me this morning, was fill up my gas tank, because what's funny is his Venus and his birth chart is actually in Capricorn, so it's kind of a humorous little twist to all of that today too. But that's exactly what today's energy is going to emanate. So don't get upset with your loved one if they kind of give you a little bit of a boring gift like that, because what they're really doing is saying, I care about you. I care about your safety. I care about your structure. These little things. That's what the energy is in the air today. That the universe wants us to have is to focus on the depth that love has, just beyond the romance, okay? And what's cool about that, too, with Venus, where it's at right now, it's only there for a couple more days, because on Tuesday it moves into the sign of Aquarius. And we've talked a lot about Aquarius lately and how it's about freedom and independence. And so we have Venus kind of moving from an area where it's built up its foundations in Capricorn, right? And now it's ready to explore them and be free and independent. So the challenge that comes with that when Venus moves into Aquarius is being able to find our freedom in our relationships and say, this is what I need and this is what I need to do to be happy, but also balancing that with the happiness of the other person involved. So that we may have some conflicts with that in the next few weeks, especially depending on where your natal Venus is in your birth chart, or where your progressed Venus is in your progressed chart too, where that transiting Venus in Aquarius, it depends on how it affects you. So it could be a very good thing. It may be a time when you are able to find that balance and help your relationship by giving of yourself more. It's all about opening up that heart center, right? Okay, if you want to be able to receive that romance that you want, you have to be able to give, right? You're sending out that energy of giving unconditional love. And I'm giving romance. And so then it comes back to you like a magnet, right? That's what it's all about. Anyway, so we've got that Aquarius sign for Venus. It also represents friendship too. I kind of focus more on the independent freedom aspect of Aquarius, but another part of it too is Aquarius really represents friendship. And it's a friendship that comes from having a loyalty and an understanding of one another, a really deep relationship. You'll find that with Aquarians, that they tend to keep the same friends for a long time because they really cherish and value those friendships and give themselves a lot to those people in their lives. So as Venus transits into that sign, you'll find that a little bit more too, that you're focused on more of that. It's the structure and stability of a relationship again, like we were saying with Capricorn, but this time it's more about building a good camaraderie with each other. You're my buddy, but you're also my lover, right? That's kind of that energy that comes with Venus and Aquarius. So keep an eye out for that. You know, if you're starting a new relationship right now in this energy that's going on, more than likely it's still going to be kind of chummy friendly at first, because that's kind of the foundation you're trying to build, is you're my friend and my companion and my partner. Also. So work on that, right? Work on that this week. And don't be mad if you get a gas tank full of gas today, right? Another thing too that's going to be happening this week is that our sun is going to transit out of that awesome Aquarian freedom energy into the sign of Pisces. And I'll talk more about it next week because I'll have more time in my video. But when the sun goes into Pisces, it's a water sign, so it's all about depth and emotion and feeling. And that's exactly what Pisces is about, feeling. It's how they say it is, I emote. This is how I relate to others, through my emotions, through my feelings for them. It also represents our spiritual growth and our ability to open up those spiritual channels in ourselves that we tend to close because we don't want to feel the enormity of God's love that comes with it. So a lot of cool things that come with the Pisces energy that's happening this week. We've got our sun, so then our moon this week is in that second quarter phase. Last week we had the new moon phase where we put those hopes and dreams and gunk and junk into the moon, ready for something new to come when that full moon comes. So now we're halfway between the new moon and the full moon when those blessings are meant to come. And now is the time when we sit and we wait, right? So that second quarter moon represents hope and faith that the seeds that we've planted are germinating underground, okay? Now is a matter of time of emitting that energy into the universe, that I know that I know that I know what I've asked for is going to come. I know that God has heard what I've asked. And I know that when the timing's right, that seed is going to pop up. And I'm going to get the blessings I need. And you know what happens? 9 times out of 10, more likely 10 times out of 10, it's always better than what we thought it was going to be, what we asked for. God always brings us what we want when we've been patient and we've waited, not when we're trying to dig that dirt up around the seed to see if it's starting to crack apart and sprout. Know that it is, right? So that's what this week, this phase in the moon is having that patience and faith. And the cool thing that comes with that is the growth and the development that happens in us while we're patient and while we're waiting. This is what God wants us to do. That's why we're on this earth, right? Is to learn these lessons. And so while we're sitting and we're waiting, we're learning about ourselves. We're learning about the other person. We're learning about all sorts of other things that are going around. So don't mind that. That's my oven. All the other things that are happening in our life too, that God wants us to just keep our eyes open and be grateful for. That structure, right, that's around us. Keep an eye out for that, right? And so our moon is going to be going through those phases this week. We're kind of going through a time when the full moon will be happening, and we'll go into that more next week also, okay, when those blessings come. So today, what we're going to do now is that we've got all of this wonderful idea going on for Valentine's Day with our boring and practical Valentine's Day that makes us feel secure and loved. Now I'm going to do the reading and see what else they have for us that they want us to keep an eye out for. So let's see here. Something over here. Hold on. Here. Okay. This is the Life Path Stone. So Major changes are afoot for someone that's watching. This stone I found literally under the Mackinac Bridge. I wanted to go right under it because I knew my angel was telling me there was going to be a stone that stood out from the rest directly under that bridge. And to me, it represented going into the land of the unknown, the life path that we follow when we have no idea where we're going, but we have faith that we know that we know that we know, right? Like I said, that God's going to take us where we need to go. So that's what this stone is. It represents that life path and that journey. So let's see a little bit more where it's tying in here for someone that's watching here today. Maybe all of us, let's see. 4 is what I feel because there's so much 4 energy of stability and structure. Hold on. Yeah, not right now though, baby. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Let us see. Okay. 2 of water. That's a new relationship. Somebody's going to have a new relationship. This makes me happy because I have a feeling I know who it is, too. Okay, so obviously that's going to be a major thing in your life. Okay. Water cards. Like we were just saying about how Venus is going into that water, or Venus, the sun is going into Pisces, that water sign. It's about feeling and emotions and relationships. So when we have 2 represents a couple, okay? It means a union and a joining together. Someone is starting a new relationship this week, okay? Keep in mind, like I said a little bit ago about that with the new relationship too, is that you have to keep in mind it's going to start out really friendship oriented, okay? So don't get too frustrated because you could scare it away and chase it away, but that's the energy that's getting put into it. I want you to be my buddy and my comrade and my friend first. Okay, so work on strengthening that. For those of you that aren't going to be getting into new relationships, this card also represents maybe a new partnership, okay, in another way. So this could be a new job, okay. That's the first thing I felt when I pulled this stone, okay, is that new opportunities are coming in the form of a career, life path, you know what I mean? So that's, I think that they're also indicating that as well. Another part of this too, with relationships, existing relationships that you've been trying to work on in that Capricorn energy, right? Trying to get the structure of your relationship back together. I feel God's telling us right now that part of your life path is learning the lessons about one another through these difficulties. And now that relationship's going to move to the next level, because that's what it says on here. Hold on. Yeah, a relationship that continues to grow closer is what it says. Forgiveness, okay, that comes from the heart center yet again, okay, and positive resolutions to a conflict. So for you folks that aren't looking for a job or relationship this week, I feel that's part of it too. I feel like there's some bitterness and unforgiveness that is stuck in that 4th heart center. 4 is such a strong number, and we're trying to build that structure up, right? Okay, so those conflicts that are in there, it's time to really release them, because those toxic threads, man, they keep you from moving on your life path. Let it go. I feel like we need an emotion card too, because water is all about emotion, right? So let's see what other emotion goes with this. I'm going to do this one 4 times also. And maybe that will kind of direct us better. I think it's both. I really feel like it is both with jobs and relationships, because there's been so much that we've been working on since November, when it was a time in Scorpio when we really thought about those things that we wanted and didn't want in our lives and started drawing those lines in the sand to saying, no more. Now is the time that God's saying that seed is starting to germinate, right? This guy kind of looks like a little seed, too, that would go in the ground. That life path seed. And it needs that water to grow. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Guilt. I don't know about that so much. Let me reshuffle this situation, because I'm feeling I mean, there could be guilt, obviously, from whatever this conflict is that needs to be resolved. Let that go too, right? Guilt that stays in your heart is just the same as unforgiveness, right? Toxic energy. I'm going to focus now on what emotion they want us to have here. I get yapping and send my energy elsewhere, so hold on. 4. Insecurity. Maybe they don't want, because this was a card from last week, so maybe they don't want us to have one here for today, okay? Maybe there is an emotion card that goes with it today, because all of a sudden now I feel like they're saying, you got it figured out. I don't know, maybe that guilt card is part of it. I don't know. Let me pull this dude out here. We'll take a look at it a little bit more, because the more I think about it, you know what, it does kind of make sense. Like I was saying, those toxic energies that stay in our heart center that keep us from moving on. Oh, okay, I'm feeling more now. Okay. Things that we've said to our partners, and we're trying to remember, we were saying like you're moving on into this relationship and strengthening it, and don't hold on to that guilt for the things that you've said, right, to make this move forward, okay? I feel like that's part of that positive resolution to the conflict, okay? Don't hold on to guilt. Don't hold on to bitterness. Don't hold on to the things that have happened in the past, because we are moving forward into the future, right? We want that new job. We want that new relationship. We want our relationship to be closer and better and more romantic and more of what we need on a level. We have to let go of that past. So I feel like that's what they're saying this week. Good things come. Good things do come, right? All in balance, right? When we're giving or receiving, make sure you balance that. Think about that this week. I feel like that's the heart center is what we're focusing on this week. Because that's where all that energy of giving and receiving is exchanged, is through that center. Let's clear that center. Let's get these things out, that guilt, that bitterness, that unforgiveness, and then we'll move on for the coming week, okay? So happy Valentine's Day to all of you, and we will talk next week more about Pisces and intuition and the wonderful things that the full moon will bring us. Goodbye.